Welcome to part 2 of directions for your summative. For this direction section, we will be going over the SOTAS strategy. This one will not be as long as the previous tutorial because I will actually start by saying I have included a second tutorial that goes in depth. It was created last trimester on how to develop a SOTAS for any assessment. So if you want a refresher, feel free to watch that tutorial. It's about 9 minutes long. I just want to draw your attention to a little difference of the directions for this particular test as opposed to the other two that you've done. As a reminder, all parts of this summative must be turned in through Classroom by Friday, the 27th. And in the previous video, I talked about integrity. I will remind you once again to please complete your own work for the SOTAs. And if there's any questions of cheating, I will, of course, have to give grades accordingly. Any obstacles you come across, I will repeat myself from the last video. Please reach out for communication via Google Meet, or we can set it up through email if you'd rather just do it through that type of communication. Okay, so we already talked about part 1, so I'm going to scan down to part 2. Part 2 is going to be your writing section in psychology. And what you're going to do is you're going to respond to the following scenario using 5 of the 9 terms below. Whichever 5 you choose, the other 4 you can cross out and not have to worry about. So the scenario is presented. 18-year-old Ricky is worried about what he's going to do next year. He has some applications taken care of, but is still unsure about his future. Seems all his classmates have solid college, military, or work plans. He feels as if his life has no direction. Using 5 of the terms, explain why Ricky is feeling this way and what he can do to feel better. Now, this is the part that's going to be a little different. In Ricky's case, you can take a term and you can apply it one of two ways. After you define it, you can either apply it by saying what is wrong, like explaining why is Ricky feeling this way, using your note, you're using the definition and synonyms to apply it that way. Or you can actually tell what Ricky can do to feel better based on this situation, using this particular vocab term or psychological term. This is how Ricky can apply it to feel better in his situation. So on the test this time, you have one of two ways that you can manipulate a term. You don't need to do it in both ways. You only have to do it in one. So for instance, if you use one of the terms and you explain why he's feeling this way and your application, that's fine. You don't then need to explain what he would do to feel better using the same application. Okay? So what I'm saying is, I know it's a little repetitive, but you're going to do one or the other in these directions. So if you're struggling with, I don't get how feel good, do good would apply to why he's feeling this way, that's where you would use the other part of what's in parentheses. You would instead explain what can he do using that term to feel better. Okay. Like I said, this is a very quick tutorial. The other tutorial that is also included on SOTAs will go much more in depth with how to do the strategy. And I would encourage you watching it if you want a refresher. And it'd be a great way to wrap out this trimester by looking at that aspect of it. So once again, good luck. Everything turned in by the 27th. Breathe. We can get through this together. And please communicate with me if you need support or help in any way.